Sometimes these things happen in MMA.
What's going on, fight fans? Welcome to These Things Happen in MMA. The purpose of this channel is to highlight various moments that have made mixed martial arts into what it is today. In this episode, I talk about the end of one of the greatest eras the sport has ever seen. This is the story of how Rampage Jackson ended Chuck Liddell's title reign. Starting his career in 1999, Quinton Rampage Jackson held an impressive record of 10 wins and 1 loss by fighting in small regional shows around the US. In 2001, Rampage signed with Japanese promotion Pride Fighting Championship, and with numerous highlight reel knockouts, he quickly became known as a devastating finisher. However, after 5 years in Pride, Jackson signed a multi-fight deal with upstart promotion World Fighting Alliance, where he then earned a hard-fought split decision over Olympic silver medalist Matt Lindland. In the following months, the UFC purchased both the WFA and Pride FC, retaining most of the promotion's fighter contracts in the process. Now holding a record of 25-6, Rampage made his UFC debut in 2007 against a familiar foe in Marvin Eastman. Handing Rampage his first loss in mixed martial arts, Eastman beat Jackson by unanimous decision 7 years prior, and the Tennessee native was eager to exact his revenge.
I think about the belt every now and then, but I got to get past Marvin, you know. I think the fact that Marvin Eastman beat me 6.5 years ago don't even matter no more, because I just want to go and just, pay him back.
The contest took place on February 3rd, 2007, and was held at the Mandalay Bay Event Center in Las Vegas. As the fight was underway, both men were competitive throughout the first 5 minutes. However, Rampage managed to rock Eastman with a quick left hook in the final moments of the round. When the second began, Jackson continued landing the more effective shots, and with just over a minute remaining, Rampage connected with a series of uppercuts that dropped Eastman and ended the contest.
Y'all ready for me? Are y'all ready for me? Who's ready? Who's next?
Making his mixed martial arts debut in 1998, the Iceman Chuck Liddell started his career with a record of 12-1 before earning a title shot against Randy Couture at UFC 43. After initially falling short, Liddell began another impressive run that saw him capture the light heavyweight title in a rematch and defend the belt multiple times within a span of 2 years. During that time frame, he avenged his first loss by defeating Jeremy Horn, ended his saga with Randy Couture in a trilogy bout, and once again defeated Renato Sobral with another first-round finish. His 4th title defense was booked for a rematch against rival Tito Ortiz, and by this point, Liddell was the biggest star mixed martial arts had ever seen.
Now, you've been knocking out so many people. You have a resume. It's a who's who of mixed martial arts fighters. Is there any danger at this point in your life of losing motivation? Are you still as hungry as ever?
I'm still as hungry as ever. I love to fight, love to get out there, and I love to win. Can't stand to lose. I can't wait to knock this kid out.
The contest took place at UFC 66 in Las Vegas, and at the time produced the highest grossing live gate in the company's history. As the fight began, Liddell landed shots from the outside until eventually connecting with a left hook that rocked Tito late in the round. Although he survived the onslaught, Ortiz was compromised heading back to his corner as he received a huge cut over his left eye. In the second, Tito managed to gain back some control by landing decent strikes on the feet and securing a takedown partway through the round. With the fight tied at 1 round apiece, Ortiz carried his momentum into the third. However, after another wild exchange, Liddell once again dropped Tito and forced the referee to stop the contest.
And it is all over! Chuck Liddell remains the light heavyweight champion!
We brought in Rampage Jackson as a new addition to the UFC, and he's the only man that has beaten you that you haven't avenged that loss. Is that next on the agenda for you?
I hope so. That's up to everybody else, UFC and guys, but I can't wait to get that rematch.
After defending his title for the 4th time, Chuck Liddell now held a record of 20 wins and just 3 losses, while avenging 2 of his defeats along the way. The only person remaining to have beaten Liddell was none other than Quinton Rampage Jackson. The 2 men first met at Pride Final Conflict 2003, during a time when the Japanese promotion was considered to have a better roster than the UFC.
I ain't worried about Chuck, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, you know what I'm saying? It's a business. I like Chuck. When we see each other, we shake each other's hand, we look at each other. You know what I'm saying? He a big guy. We just about the same weight. You know what I'm saying? He got a little beer better thing going on, though. He's a cool guy. I like him, you know what I'm saying? But he come to my neck of the woods, you know what I'm saying? Put them hands up, suck that gut in. you know what I'm saying, and do his shit, man.
After getting outstruck for over 13 minutes, Liddell's corner threw in the towel partway through the second round, and Rampage became the last person to defeat the Iceman. Now, 3.5 years later, the two were set to face off once again, and with the popularity of mixed martial arts increasing, the fight received extensive coverage from mainstream sports media.
To get on the cover of Sports Illustrated and ESPN, the magazine, is huge. It really is, and it's shown that finally we cannot be ignored, we cannot be denied. We've made it, we're there. The main event of the evening, Chuck Liddell versus Quinton Jackson.
I look up to Chuck because since I fought Chuck, he's been doing things. He's been knocking folks out, and you know what I'm saying, he's my inspiration. I'm gonna use that to knock his ass out.
Well, if Quinton's gonna come out to knock me out like he says he is, it's gonna be a very exciting night. Pretty short, but very exciting.
The contest took place on May 26, 2007, and drew the second highest live gate in the company's history, right behind UFC 66. As the fight began, Liddell stayed on the outside and used his jab to create distance, frustrating Rampage in the process. However, as the fight went on, Jackson soon found his range, as he landed a quick right hook that dropped Liddell and ended the contest shortly after. The fight lasted just 1 minute and 53 seconds, and with the victory, Rampage ended one of the greatest title reigns in UFC history.
You are now the UFC light heavyweight champion of the world. Yeah. Congratulations.
Hey, I'm gonna be this way for a while, baby. You feel me? Anybody want some? I'm training hard now. I got Juanito, I got Chris, I got Zach Light, I got Junior. They training me hard, baby. They training me hard.
In the aftermath of UFC 71, Chuck Liddell would never look the same again, as he lost 5 out of 6 bouts and suffered 4 knockout losses in a row before retiring. In his next fight, Rampage will go on to defend his title against fellow Pride veteran Dan Henderson, who was also the organization's simultaneous middleweight and light heavyweight champion. Earning a win by unanimous decision, Jackson unified the UFC and Pride light heavyweight titles, forever cementing his legacy in mixed martial arts. Jackson would eventually lose the belt in his next defense against an up-and-coming Forrest Griffin. However, the contest was considered by many as the fight of the year. Afterwards, Rampage would have many more notable fights in the promotion, although we'd never capture UFC gold again. In 2013, Jackson left the UFC and signed with Bellator MMA, where he'd go on to win their Season 10 light heavyweight tournament and eventually retire in 2019. When Rampage started competing in mixed martial arts, he brought a unique style of toughness and originality that was unseen in the sport. His menacing demeanor inside the cage and fun-going personality outside of it helped to transform him into a worldwide superstar. Earning 38 victories in total, Rampage has produced an abundance of memorable moments throughout his Hall of Fame career, with more than half of his wins coming by way of knockout. His crowning achievement came in 2007, when he pulled off one of the sport's most shocking upsets and became the first black light heavyweight champion of the UFC. So let us never forget Quinton Rampage Jackson and how he ended Chuck Liddell's title reign. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below with a topic for a future episode. Also, don't forget to follow on social media for occasional giveaways, and I'm proud to say Full Contact Fighter is an official sponsor of the channel. Established in 1997, Full Contact Fighter is the sport's longest standing media outlet and lifestyle apparel line, with their clothing appearing on many of MMA's earliest legends. If you'd like to learn more about the company, visit FullContactFighter.com, where you can also own a piece of mixed martial arts history. As always, thanks for watching and supporting my channel.
Champion! You feel me? I'm the champ! I made history. Am I the first black light heavyweight champion of the UFC? I made history, baby. I made history.
Sometimes these things happen in MMA.